Let's end this once and for all with Transformers Studio Series Drift of the helicopter variety. I hate to play favorites, but Drift is probably my favorite out of this quadrilogy. It's funny that I say that because I think Drift is probably the most underrated figure in all of Studio Series because not a lot of people talk about him, almost as if they forget about him. Even I forget about him in my own shelves. If you've been watching since the artsy-fartsy era of Offhand reviews, then you will realize that Drift shares a lot of similarities to Helicopter Dropkick, which I think is a good thing because, I mean, you got a deluxe helicopter, might as well use it besides just once. And even though Drift came first, he does the same thing as Jet Shatter, where she has car parts, even though she turns into a jet, but obviously Drift turns into a helicopter and he has a car chest, a Bugatti chest that's unlabeled, which segues into accessories. So Drift comes with these swords, ninja swords specifically, so it kind of makes his whole samurai look a bit of a yikes kind of choice. But unfortunately, there's nothing I can do about it now, so at least he rocks it well. So I guess that's the thing that IDW got right the first time when they were creating Drift initially. One of the coolest things you can do with Drift is that you can put his swords on his legs thanks to these tabs, and it's another way to have him not hold the swords if you don't want him to. Unfortunately, it does create issues if you want to store him that way. He also comes with a helicopter rotor shield thingy, so yes, that means he is a parts former. Don't you start whining now. Don't get so butthurt, righties. You can put the shield there too. Or you can fold his left hand away so it looks like he's pulling a Cybertron Games weapon and basically have the jet gun from Black Ops 2. Or you could be a centrist and just put the shield on his back. Have no artistic flair. And of course, more evidence of parts forming, he has these missiles that plug into his legs for robot mode because they go somewhere else in helicopter mode, obviously, because they're missiles, helicopter missiles. And here's all the accessories for Drift laid out in case they weren't very clear when I was showing them on Drift himself. Before we get to articulation, I really want to compliment the paint job on Drift because it's probably like top 10 best paint jobs in Studio Series. It's very nice and immaculate, and this is probably what we should have gotten back in the Age of Extinction days, but we didn't. And also, fun fact, this is the first Drift toy that I've had of him. I tried to get the Last Night one when it was new, but I never saw it in stores, so I guess good things come to those who wait. Because actually, also, this wasn't even my own purchase. My little brother got this, but he didn't like Transformers anymore, so he gave it to me. And just coincidentally, I didn't have a Drift, so here we are. So, let's articulate this guy. So you can look up, you can't really look down. You can't really tilt his head. Also, this is like the only figure in this quadrilogy that can actually look up instead of just looking up just the default position. He's got armpit joints that go up and down, but that's more so a transformation. He's got a ball jointed arm, goes all the way around, and you can also move it inward. I don't know why. He's got a bicep swivel, 90-degree elbows, no waist swivel, but that's due to how he transforms. The leg goes that far forward, that far back, that far out. Makes sense because he's a ninja character, or I guess the right word would be assassin. But he's a ninja, so I guess it doesn't really matter, it's the same thing. He's got a thigh swivel. Also, you could do in and out with the ball joint. He's got crazy knees. That makes a lot of sense, actually. So, I mean, it's still cool to have crazy knees, even if it doesn't make any sense, but it's because, well, since it's just derivative of the dropkick mold, like Dropkick doesn't need to have deep ass knees. He doesn't even do anything like Drift. But I guess that's the fun campiness of Transformers toys. So yeah. Comparisons. Here is Drift with all the Age of Extinction Autobots except High Octane Bumblebee. Because here he is with Last Night Bumblebee next to Drift. Next, here's Drift next to Slug, because I think in like toy marketing they were paired together. I don't remember if they were in the movie, so I don't know. Next, here's Drift next to KSI Bots, and the reason Nitro Zeus is here is because his character design in The Last Night is just a reuse of something from Age of Extinction, in case you didn't know that little fun factoid. Last but not least, here's Drift with Shatter and Dropkick, and the reason Car Dropkick is here is because he's also Dropkick, so might as well show him off. Alright, so transformation, it's exactly the same as Helicopter Dropkick, well, with slight differences. Because first off, there is parts forming, like I mentioned. So obviously you gotta take off everything. Start with the missiles, because they're probably the hardest thing to get off. Since you have to you can't just pull them off like the swords. And like the turbine shield thing. Okay, so just like Helicopter Dropkick, you put the fists inward so they look like that. Then I'll just move that to get clearance, so then you do this where you take the chest off and then swivel it. And you can put that up, and then just to get a start, swivel the whole head section already, because it will get in the way. So with the arms, so this, I think now I know why these pivot, because you need to have the shoulders like this and then use the swivel. And there's this tab that goes into this part where his, I guess, pectoral muscle is. So swivel, tab into there. It's really hard to see. Okay, this is as clear as it's gonna get. So you've got a tab, and you tab it into here, like that. And you bring them together. I don't know if you can't really even see this. Hold on. Okay, so there's a tab here. There's a tab hole in there. So what you do is you tab them together, and then look at that. This whole section comes together. And if it doesn't already, like how mine did, because usually sometimes they'll be like, the shoulders will be like that, then you just fix it in and locks it in place basically. So now that you have this turned around, you use the knee swivels. Then you move that, turn that around. Make sure you push this in all the way. Turn this out. Move this little gray piece forward. Same thing on the other side. You open this. If this doesn't move already, then swivel it. Then open this up. And take this little gray piece and move it downward. So then what you do now is you move the legs back, tab here, tab hole there, it's kind of obvious. So you get one side, then you get the other side, put them in, and then tab these sides together. Actually, I don't think they actually do that. But the front of the helicopter should be available for you, so then you just move this in place, tab it in, and obviously fix the orientation. Okay, there we go. Then you tab that in. Then this part you just straighten it out. Fix a couple of things, and now we got to add the other stuff. So wind turbine, if I don't drop it, you gotta put it back here. Then these missiles. Make sure you get the right corresponding side. So like this missile, the missile's facing this way. Go on the facing forward, go on the right side. Like that, see? And the swords, I mean, just tab in. Just tabs at the end. So, and there you go, you got your helicopter helicopter drift transformed. Let's call him Dropkick. It was very overly complicated to show, but at least we got there. Sorry about the shot. I completely forgot to get a separate clip of just the helicopter, but the helicopter is nice and sleek thanks to the complete darkness of black that it is. Comparisons, here's Drift with all of the Age of Extinction Autobots, and I am not going to say the same thing. I bet I tricked you. Next, we got Drift with the Bumblebees. Next, here's Drift with Slug. Next, here's Drift with KSI Bots again. And last but not least, here's Drift with Shatter and Dropkick. So that's Studio Series Drift, obviously from Age of Extinction and the helicopter version, because they did a car one for the Last Night in Studio Series. It was just a repaint of the Last Night toy, but I think that was an exclusive, so obviously I don't have it. And I'm pretty content with this one, so yeah. Hopefully they will do a new car Drift. Almost said Dropkick. Their names both start with D's, so I think that's why I get confused pretty easily. Plus, they're also the same mold, basically. But yeah, the paint's immaculate. The transformation is immaculate. His accessories are immaculate. Just all around, his design's pretty immaculate too, even though it doesn't make any sense because he's a ninja, and obviously samurai aren't ninja-like. They're heavily armored. Well, ninjas have no armor. So I don't know what the character designers were thinking. Probably Michael Bay's doing. I have no idea. But, oh well. This toy's pretty good. I have no idea how the other Drift toys are because I never played with any other ones besides this one. I got my lucky with my first ever Drift being the best one. So, same outro. Check out in the description below my second channel because I'm going to be posting my first ever vlog, and I don't know when it's going up. Maybe already out by the time this video comes out. And my Mercari account because I'm still selling shit. Okay? Okay. Also, check out this new outro.